Hey, are you tired of consistently losing games because you can't aim under pressure or at all? Well, you've come to the right place, my friend, because welcome to VALEFISK'S Guide to Being a Coward, your #1 source for honing the only skill you actually have. Now, since I have a black belt in Cowardice myself, I feel that I am more than qualified to help novice wimps get their foot in the door and begin their journey to becoming master cowards. Today, I'm going to give the basic rundown of the coward doctrine, which can be broken down into 5 simple rules. And as an added bonus, you'll even be taught one of the most advanced cowardice techniques known to man, the infamous squirming tiger. So, without further ado, let's begin. Now, this rule may sound pretty straightforward to a novice or someone unfamiliar with cowardice, but in reality, this step is easy to learn but hard to master. The first thing you need to understand is that when I say run, I mean run. From anything. Hear gunfire in the distance? Run in the opposite direction. Gunfire close? Run. Getting shot at? Run. Hear a car? Run. Plane? Run. IRS? Run. Girlfriend's husband? Jump out the window and then run. Now this is all very well and good, but sadly it's not good enough to just run. Whether you're running from metaphorical or physical bullets, when you run, you've got to make sure to dodge all those bullets, even if you aren't being shot at right this second, because who knows, the next second you could be, and it's always good to be prepared. The solution then is to go into your options menu, turn your sensitivity all the way up, and then, as you run, throw the camera around in every possible direction like this. That way, you're much harder to hit. And as an added bonus, you also won't be able to see anything, because as all cowards know, what you can't see can't hurt you. Google's helpful built-in dictionary defines a coward as a person who lacks the courage to do or endure dangerous or unpleasant things. And in accordance with that, you're not allowed to use any gun that isn't effective outside 100 meters. I'm talking shotguns, SMGs, pistols, and, of course, the pretend sniper with its effective range of about 5 centimeters. The reason for this is fairly obvious, as no true coward would ever want to actually fight someone face to face, so you must run away from them to about 100 to 3,500 meters before returning fire. This means that the only guns you're allowed to use are rifles and snipers, as they allow you to kill people from a long distance without getting your hands physically dirty, though I'd still recommend packing some gloves to make the figurative dirt easier to wash off. Moving on from the guns themselves, let's discuss what to do when you do come across somebody else. Your plan for the dirty work can be broken down into 2 steps. Firstly, are they within 100 meters? Like I mentioned before, if they are, you have to run. If they aren't, you move on to step 2. Which way are they facing? If they're facing towards you, there's nothing you can do except hope they turn around and face the other way. If their back is to you, then you're in luck. As any good-hearted coward will tell you, it's only acceptable to shoot people in the back. That way, you don't have to watch the life drain out of their cold dead eyes as they bleed onto the ground some distance away. And now, on a much darker note, cars are the coward's best friend. They are by far the easiest way to chicken out of any situation, from a gunfight to a police drug raid. The #1 thing you should be looking for when looting is, after all, gas. The more gas you have, the more you can drive and the fewer people you have to fight. However, the most important thing to remember is that you can't use the car as a weapon. Because if you're gonna use it to run people over, you're bound to end up damaging the bumper or something. And we all know how ridiculous Blue Hole's car insurance rates have become since everyone keeps flipping and blowing up their cars all the time. But anyway, getting back on track, you should also carefully pick your car, as some cars provide more cover to the driver than others. That's why, from one coward to another, my car recommendation is the UAZ. It's slower, harder to flip, provides good enough protection, and its green coat makes it practically invisible in the grass. Okay, first of all, no coward wants to jump out of a plane with 1 parachute and no backup. Blue Hole, please get on this. I don't know what the failure rate for parachutes is in this game, but since about 25% of the people die within the first minute, I'm estimating it's 25%. So please, would you give us a backup? But anyway, until they fix that, as I said before, no coward wants to jump out of an airplane, so you have to wait for the game to force you out of the plane. Once it does, you have 3 good options. The first is you pull your parachute immediately to avoid the panic of falling through the sky to your death, and then fly as far away from people as possible. The second is to drop onto a roof and then immediately jump off to spare yourself the trouble of playing the round. And the third is, as a coward, my personal favorite. When the plane forces you out, simply let the game guide you to the ground, where no doubt a few other morons will be AFK. This gives you some free kills without the need to actually fight anyone, but I would recommend blindfolding yourself beforehand though, as you will need to beat them to death with your bare hands. Right, well, with all those rules explained and out the way, we can finally move on to the grand finale, the most advanced cowardice technique known to man, the squirming tiger. Now, before we start, let me just warn you that this is a very difficult move to pull off correctly, and since there have been a number of injuries from those attempting it, I am legally required to say don't try this at home. There you go, US Department of Health and Human Services, you happy? Good, right. Now, let me teach you how to do this at home. Like I just explained in the last section, you have to wait till the plane forces you out, and then look around for either a car to land on or preferably a warehouse. This is because, as you might have guessed by now, the genius of the squirming tiger is that you crawl. Everywhere. By crawling, you're not only much harder to spot, but much harder to hit, increasing a coward's chance of survival. What this does mean, however, is that navigating houses and especially stairs isn't easy, so that's why you aim for a warehouse or open building like it to loot first. Once you've got some basic gear, you either start crawling for the center of the circle, or find a car and drive there first. Now, I will take a slight detour here to talk about boats. Boats really should have a rule of their own, but as they are quite situational, they don't. However, if the circle ever looks like this one in any coward game, then you should immediately try to find a boat. That way, you can simply drive the boat out into open water and watch the number of people breathing slowly go down. I only mention this because that's what happened in the game you're seeing on the screen, but anyway, once you've reached the center of the circle-ish, you simply rinse and repeat, crawling through the mud for as long as you can. However, there will come a time when the circle itself has a diameter of less than 100 meters, and that's a problem. Thankfully, we have grenades, which if used correctly will make the body fly away to somewhere you can't see. But other than that, as long as you follow the rules from earlier, you're pretty much guaranteed a win. I took a survey from a 3-man sample group, and as you can see, the Coward Doctrine has a near 100% success rate. And now that you know it, you will too. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.